I'm Joshua Patterson, and this is a Service Please Snack with Kate Hamilton, co-founder of the exceptional communications agency Sonder Tell. So for you, when you're thinking about Sonder Tell moving forward, is that something in which social media can be like an integral part of the conversation and the journey when you're speaking with new clients and things like that, or is it something in which you try to lean a little bit more away from, or how do you approach it?
No, we definitely don't lean away from it. It's like a seriously important channel for the brands that we work with. We're not content strategy specialists, so we're much more the upfront, obsess over the upfront brand strategy and what you want to stand for. But that's something we're going to look at doing more of, is then how that filters down into content strategy and the specific channels that you need to be engaging with. Yeah, and I mean, you and I were at an event the other day, and a lot of the conversation was on TikTok, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you can't not think about that now, even starting as a brand, especially if you're trying to appeal to a younger demographic, which brands will be increasingly. So, yeah, all up for storytelling on social media. And I guess that's one of the things we do think about is like, this is sometimes brand strategy gets very deep and lofty, and let's say it's about a feeling of belonging, and it's like, okay, so let's test that against certain channels and make sure that it can be then brought down into something that's relatable on an everyday basis. So Airbnb's brand strategy is, well, their tag is belong anywhere. Like, that is fundamentally, it's about humans want to belong, and when they travel they want to belong to the places they're visiting, but then they bring it kind of down to earth in these very friendly and relatable ad campaigns which go out across social. So yeah, we do keep that in mind, and we'll do more and more moving forward.
Yeah. No, I think that, yeah, the conversation the other day when we were at the Courier event, it was wild. Everyone, like, even the panel host was, referring to amount of views that they'd had on something, and like that was their form of, medium and stuff like that. And it was really fascinating as well. I think, there was a conversation about the idea of celebrity chefs, and even I referred at the beginning to this, like Jamie Oliver, and how I found that so appealing. And now you have people that are able, or were able, to just cook at home through the pandemic, and they've gone from 0 followers up into now a brand of themselves, basically doing recipes. And it's like, how do now they communicate in a more, I don't know, potentially a more effective way? Maybe it's actually like reverse doing the situation, so actually it's like the social media and then going to more the more maybe traditional forms of communication within strategy and things like that.
But I think the social media strategy has to be guided by something that's a little bit more permanent. So I think it has to be coming from this like quite rooted brand place, and then seeing social media as a channel rather than. But it doesn't always happen like that, I guess, because some brands do start on social media, but at some point I think it needs to be like... Yeah.
But I mean, like, reverse engineering it. So almost like, working from this like quite naive native state, and then being like, right, how can I now formulate and create something which is going to just resonate with even more people outside? Because social media, it's fine, but it is a generational thing, and it's obviously going to grow. But there's this whole swathe of people. Like, I've got friends, and I'm 33 now. I've got friends that are basically leaving social media, and it's like, there are so many brands that are still going to have a communication with them, and obviously that falls outside of that realm, like you're saying, like instead of content. So for those people that maybe have grown in social media, it's like they have to now access a new market and a new, you know what I mean? And it'll be quite interesting for that.
I think it just comes down to understanding who your customer is and where they're showing up. Like, are they going to interact? Is a newsletter the best way to target them? If you're a D2C brand, then maybe. So yeah, it's understanding who exactly it is you're going after and where best to reach them, and then speaking to them on those channels.
And I'd be intrigued, just like, how does the language change when it goes like, not to get like hyper granular with different sections of the population, but like, have you got any like really good examples where you just think, yeah, that word is for that type of person, or things like that? You know what I mean? That you go to and it's like, yeah, that's the right one.
So I guess we're always trying to get brands out of thinking about kind of demographics. So 28 to 40 here and 40 upwards here. We're trying to unite those customer bases in that kind of aspirational mindset. So what's the label, what's the category you can give people beyond just their age, income, location? What do they care about? What do they fear? What do they go to bed about? Like bed worrying about and that sort of thing. So, and building out a label and then talking to that rather than just an age group. But yeah, there's not any specific words or things like that we throw around. It's more like getting a label for that group and then figuring out a brand platform that will speak to them. And then we kind of look at the voice afterwards. Once you've got the positioning in place, then the voice is almost like comes quite naturally. And I think sometimes brands like do get it a bit wrong. They think tone of voice can solve sort of all problems. We get quite a lot of briefs that are like, we have a X problem, or we need to sound more, we need to be more challenging. Can you build us a tone of voice? And it's like, we can do that, but you have to be challenging something in order to actually sound challenging. Otherwise, it's just, you know, like throwing a bit of paint on something. So yeah, it's got to come from positioning first, and then the voice comes after.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. And is there a new train of thought actually not putting people into demographics and things like that in your like in your field kind of thing, or do you think that's actually?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that actually.
Okay. Or it's your train of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But I like that.
No, I think it is probably, it does exist, but I don't know like what the kind of, the trends have been before.
No, I like that though. Because in my mind, it is like, you know, unfortunately you do just put brackets. I think it's probably because like when you go onto a computer, you're just like 35 to 45 and things like that. So it's just like, it's almost like ingrained within your mind to like label people and that kind of thing.
Labels, but ultimately you want to be uniting people
100%.
beyond those labels and drawing them into this kind of mindset.
Yeah, that's why I really liked it. Yeah, we do have to be more unified. I think there's too much divisive things in this world nowadays. I've found all of this conversation like super fascinating and like just so enjoyable. No, it's been amazing. And I think as well, for me, it would just be like, I'd love to open it up for you and just be like, I don't know, sometimes you hear podcasts and stuff like that and it seems like quite question-based and like maybe the person's like, oh my God, there are so many things in which I would have liked to explore. So I was wondering, is there anything in which like, for you that's not been discussed that you're just like, I never get to talk about this? And like, you know what I mean, in these kind of situations? Could be completely unrelated to like Sonder Tell. It could be personal, I don't know.
Should we talk about swimming for a minute?
Yeah, we could talk about swimming for a minute. That's really nice.
I actually feel like a fake swimmer at the moment though. Because I don't think I've swum all this year. I think I talk about how much I like swimming more than I actually go swimming, which I'm upset about.
People come up to me, they're like, oh my God, how's the swimming going? And in my head, I'm like, I haven't been in a pool for like 8 months. And I'm like,
I know, me too. It's so good. It's such a good form of exercise.
And then
like a fraud.
Reel off all the memories and stuff like that, and obviously then talk about the 10K swim that we did and just still live through that.
Exactly, but it's quite a big swim, so it still stumps people. They're like, whoa, 10K, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty heavy duty. But I do want to go swimming more, and now the sun's out, we should do that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, hopefully you're going to come along for the 6K swim, so we just need to get training for that.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, and also it's like the estuary towards the ocean, so it will be like downstream as well. So it'll feel like 4. So basically, it's just chill.
Yeah, I've also noticed lots of writers are swimmers and swimmers are writers. Random thought. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's quite meditative and quite a good way of clearing your head.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
I think that it's the conversation which I go to about swimming all the time. That basically. You get into that rhythm and that stride, and basically normally there's like, my head's like quite shouty sometimes. I've even said to myself today in the kitchen, I'm like, why am I shouting in my head? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, I feel like swimming enables the shouting to just finish, and then it's just like you get into that like meditative state, and it's just like all very calm, and like then actually I find some of the best ideas I've ever had have been like just in those moments of serenity and stuff like that.
I actually find that I don't think at all when I'm swimming, but that's quite nice in itself. Because I always go and I'm like, oh, I'll sort out this problem, and then I can't really, because all I can think about is like counting lengths or like remembering to breathe. But actually that's almost meditation, because your mind goes pretty blank.
Yeah. You just focus on that single individual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Get back in that pool.
Yeah, especially when when the light is just like twinkling on it on the bottom of the, and you're just like, that's quite nice.
Poetry.
It is. I hope you enjoyed that Service Please snack from the full meal. If you're enjoying Service Please, interacting with the channel in any way has a massive effect, either by subscribing, liking, or even commenting on future episodes and topics you'd like to hear spoken about. I'm Joshua Patterson, and that was a Service Please snack.